everyone. Welcome to American Firearms Network. Thank you for watching our show. We appreciate you tuning in. We hope you like and subscribe and share. And again, thank you. Today's show is gun customizations.
Yeah.
Is it worth it or a waste? What do you think, Instructor Paul?
Oh, I don't want to get myself into trouble.
We could talk about this for a long time.
Yeah, we could.
Okay.
I personally, I've got a couple of, well, one gun in particular, my Glock 19, that had some stuff done on it. Had some paint work done on it. It was really nice. But I don't know, it depends. It depends on what you're going to do to your gun. I mean, if you're going to change out the trigger.
I mean, I think that's, besides putting a red dot on, that's very common, right, to change the trigger. And you got to be careful with that because legally, all these customizations, you can have a problem. If you have a real shooting, defending yourself and your family, something goes down, they can use those customizations against you.
Well, they can.
Absolutely.
They can. I didn't know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know that. We talked. I think right? Like a trigger.
Yeah.
A trigger or whatever, right? I mean, certain things can be used against you, especially artwork, right? When you have, a devil's head or all this stuff on the back of the gun, right? That can be used against you, some of this stuff.
Yeah.
You got to be careful what you do. I'm for maybe smoothing out the triggers. Some of my guns, I lightened up the trigger a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. But if you carry a couple of my guns that I carry on a regular basis, I keep it stock.
Yeah.
Okay. I train harder with it. Listen, most people shoot better with a lighter trigger, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You take a shooter who's somewhat experienced, but they're shooting a stock trigger, and then you give them a Glock with a Timney trigger on it.
Oh, it's a night and day, isn't it?
It's completely night and day. You shoot much better, right?
Yeah.
And what do you hear from other instructors? Oh, you got to be able to shoot with everything. That's true. As an instructor, we practice with everything. We got to be able to have a student's gun and be able to shoot that to maybe correct the problem. Or if there's an issue with the gun, we got to be able to evaluate it while they're not shooting well. So we got to be able to shoot accurately with every single type of gun, right? No matter how many pounds that trigger is. But
I'm going to bring up the King of King guns. The King of King guns.
I know what you're going to say.
You got a gun like the gun you got, the Cicada. Do you really need to customize that anymore?
No,
you don't. It's all there.
No.
It's all there. The trigger's there.
The aerodynamics. Oh my God, the engineering of that gun is just...
It's unreal.
It's unbelievable. You can take the worst shooter. My wife is a much better shooter now, but she wasn't always good. And she'd shoot a regular gun terribly and then grab the staccato, right? We shoot a staccato. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Why do you need to train? Why do you need to practice when you got a staccato? That's what they say. But anyway, customizations are, I think, fine. I'm a little reluctant to carry a gun where I'm carrying it every day with too much customization, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I want to kind of leave it as stock as you can, just in my opinion. I mean, unless you're very, very experienced and you want to maybe put like a different type of trigger, an apex trigger or something like that on that. Nothing too light.
No.
But that's fine, but you got to be very experienced to be careful, right? Those light triggers, if you're not careful, not following just the basic safety rules,
you got to be very careful.
That gun can go off, but I try to keep it stock as possible, the guns that I have. Okay, I have the Glock 30S that I like, and 45 ACP. Big favorite gun of mine. I have that bone stock. Okay, I enjoy it, and I happen to shoot really well with it.
Yeah.
But as far as having some guns all tricked out with barrels and everything else, and you want to have fun at the range, why not?
Yeah, it's up to you. If you can afford it, it can get very costly. I try to make sure that on most of my guns I have a good light on them. You've got to have a light if you can afford to get one, put a light on your gun. But, I would rather spend that money on training. Especially when I'm talking to new shooters, beginner shooters. Spend that money on training.
And you're saying don't do much customization until you get to a level, until you get to a higher level of accuracy and safety, and you're really comfortable with your firearm. You're saying spend it on training first.
Spend it on training.
But also, you do changes to your gun, it voids the warranty.
Yeah, it can.
Right?
Yeah, it can.
You tell them, you say, they ask you, these companies, and you do any work with it? Yeah, I did it. Well, I'm sorry, if you want to send it back to us or whatever, but we have to charge you. Right?
Yeah.
I think there's so many, the list goes on and on and on, from rubber grips to every scenario in the world of customizations.
I've got a buddy, he does cerakoting, and he cerakotes his guns, and I hear that by cerakoting them, he can really make the gun itself last a lot longer. So things like that, it's worth, if you can, invest in.
Yeah.
Whatever you have to do.
If something's going to help you be a better shooter, like, I have a couple of rubber grips on some of my guns, and it really helps me. It's a little bigger, a little fatter grip. And I can shoot, helps me shoot better, and it's my gun in hot weather. We're here in Florida. My hands are sliding all over the place when I have a stock grip. So I usually put some rubber grips on there, and that's helped. I mean, there's certain things that you can do where it's not that big of a deal. But my personal opinion is just that try to keep it stock. Never have your trigger too light when you're carrying. But customizations are fine. There's nothing wrong with it, right? If you have a bunch of guns and you want to just have some fun at the range, put these trick barrels on and all this other stuff on there. I don't see anything wrong with it, right? Why not? Have fun. You go to the range. I bring all my guns, and I just love to shoot. Sometimes different guns, and some of my guns I got tricked out, and I enjoy it.
You enjoy it. It's about enjoying yourself.
There's nothing wrong with it.
So
sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's not worth it. It depends on the gun and what you're using it for, right? Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. You can get a good gun, good stock gun that can do everything you want it to do without even changing it.
So one thing is,
we know that.
You recently purchased a gun, right? Yeah. You're a big thing. Want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, I recently purchased the Prodigy, the Springfield Prodigy, and I love that gun. Stock. I didn't have to change the trigger. I mean, everything was just, as we say in England, mustard. It was the way I wanted it to be, and it's a lot cheaper than the Cicada, but
there's certain triggers that you don't have to change out, and certain things you just don't need to do because the guns are that good.
They're that good.
And I know I'm drifting a little bit, but I have some SIGs. I got the X Macro. I got the 226 Classic. I mean, the 226, it's a single action with the safety on. That gun is just ridiculous. But my X Macro, the trigger is amazing. I don't have to touch that trigger. I think, in my opinion, and I know we're drifting everyone, but my trigger on my SIGs that I have, and I have a couple others, are better than the triggers on the Glock stock.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
I definitely agree with it.
So, some of my Glocks, I got to swap out the triggers. Just, for some reason, I just can't shoot well like that. I mean, I've gotten better with it, but, in the past, I just was not able to really do well with that, and I had to swap out the triggers. But SIG is on point.
Yeah.
And I know they're getting a lot of bad heat now with that P320.
Yeah.
It's going off on its own and stuff like that.
It's a nightmare. I don't know, man.
I have the compact P320 bone stock. I just I have a grip on it, plastic, rubber grip. It shoots well. But anyway, we drifted a little bit. Nothing wrong with customizations at all. But again, if you're going to carry a gun, I would just try to limit it a little bit and not go too crazy and try to keep it as stock as you can. There's legal ramifications for that. That's what they say. But it's just reliability, really, right? You want that gun. When you pull that gun out, you want it to work. You don't need to trick out your gun that you're carrying too much, because you don't know if you pull that out, in a real bad situation. You want to make sure that thing works for sure. In my opinion, the more stock you leave it, the better and more reliable it's going to be. Would you agree with that?
I agree. 100%. 100%.
Everyone, thank you. We appreciate it. Please leave some comments. I want to hear about some of your customizations. What do you guys think about your carry gun not being customized and tricked out, right? Versus, just having these guns customized to have fun and go to the range. Let us know in the comments, and have a nice day.